Welcome to the Digital Distance Learning Solution on HTML headings. Our first requirement was to create a new HTML document with the specified document type as HTML. We also needed to make sure that it had a proper structure and the language of the document was specified. I'm going to go ahead and start off by creating a new file, and just to set its name, I'm going to go again to File and then Save. And I'm going to go ahead and save it in a new folder where I am going to name the file I want to save as index.html. Now, as you can see, index.html is open, and I need to specify the document type as HTML. So I'm going to go ahead and do that by writing out doc type HTML, and I have declared the file type as HTML, and I'm going to make sure that it has a proper structure, and I'm going to do that by creating my HTML and body elements. Now that I have those completed, I'm going to go ahead and complete the first requirement by specifying the language of the document. In the HTML start tag, I'm going to go ahead and do this by adding the attribute of which has a name of lang for language equals, and within the two double quotes, I'm going to write the language of the document, which is EN-U-S, US English. I am going to go ahead and proceed with the second requirement, and in the body elements content, I'm going to create 6 different headings, from the least important to the most important, all of which will have the same text, my heading. So I am going to go ahead, and I know that the least important heading has a tag name of H6. So I'm going to go ahead and create that element, a start tag of H6, and brackets automatically completed the end tag for me. In the element's content, I am going to write the heading that I want, which is going to be heading period. I'm going to create the next more important heading, which is the H5 heading. I am going to do the same thing I did for the H6 heading, but with the H5 tag. I'm going to proceed with the H4 heading, which is the next more important heading after the H5 heading. And I am going to do the same for the H3 heading, is the next more important heading after the H4 heading. And again with H2, which is the second most important heading, with the same content of heading. And finally, the most important heading, the H1 heading, with the same heading. Now, as you can see here, we have the least important H6 heading on the top, and each heading gets more important until the H1 heading, which is the most important heading, on the bottom. Now, for the third and final requirement, after each heading, I'm going to add a break, which is not that difficult. I am going to create the BR tag after each heading. We now have a break after each heading, and let us go ahead and preview our work. I'm going to use Brackets' live preview feature, which is on the right hand side of the editor. As we can see here, we have our least important heading up to our most important heading. However, again, please note that you should not be using headings for styling, such as changing the heading size. You should only be using headings to tell whatever that is reading your document, such as a search engine, that your H1 heading is your most important heading and your H6 heading would be your least important. We can also see our breaks between each heading are successful. And I would like to thank you for watching this digital distance learning solution on HTML headings.